Hey guys, I know I haven't posted a video in a while. I had some stuff going on at work, and then I had some surgery. I just got a cochlear implant activated, or not activated, but implanted. I have to go back for the activation in a few weeks. In addition to being blind, I have a pretty significant hearing loss in the one ear and a very significant one in the other ear, which is the one I got implanted. I'm back now. Hopefully, I'll be able to make some more videos in the future. I wanted to talk a little bit about something I don't see talked about much, and that's how to do focus management in React. And then I want to show a website that does it wrong by not doing it at all. And first, I want to show my app, and then I'll show another website that unfortunately doesn't use semantic HTML and doesn't use focus management. I'll try to point out where that causes some issues. So how we do focus management in React is actually pretty easy. Um, Use a thing called a ref. There's some documentation in React, but I'll show you some of the code that I've written. And I'll put this code up. I haven't put it up on GitHub yet, but when I put it up on GitHub, I'll put a link to it in the video description here. So let me go into my Visual Studio code here. Okay, so I'm showing you, I have a home component here, since this is the simplest component that I have. So you'll see I have, my inputs at the top. Um, so a ref is a object that you declare here, react.createRef, and this main ref here is a variable, and then so you would declare it at the top of your function if you're using a functional component, or you can use this in class components as well. And then what you do is you, in your markup here, so I have my h1, the ref equals main. So that main ref is now associated with an h1. And you can associate a ref with any element. So like you could put refs on form fields if you wanted to set autofocus to form fields. And you can access them as if you were accessing the HTML element directly with. And the tab index equals -1, that is for if you're setting focus to something that isn't normally tabbable to, like a heading or a div or something like a span. You would set tab index equal to -1 so that it can actually gain focus. Now, in a lot of cases, this probably wouldn't be, and the way I set it here is I have it set in this use effect hook here. You could do this on component did mount, I suppose, if you were using a class component. But I have the main.current, which .current gives you the access to the element, and then .focus, which actually sets focus to it. And I'm setting the document title as well, which isn't necessary, but it's kind of nice to do. I'll be honest, I don't check the title often as a user myself, but it never hurts to have the title be, what the component actually is. And I could probably turn this effect into a custom hook that just took a string for the title and automatically set the ref to set the focus to whatever ref within my component. I just haven't done that. So that's focus management. Now let me show you a little bit about why that's important. So I have the app here open that I'm showing you. Right now I'm signed in. So if I sign out of the app, if I didn't have, and when I sign out, I redirect back to the home component. So it sets focus to that heading. If I comment out this if I comment out that focus line, now I'm going to sign into my app again. I'm using Firebase, by the way. I'll put all this on GitHub so you can see exactly what I'm doing. I just made a little app that would track weigh-ins and stuff like that. It's nothing fancy, but I thought it'd be kind of cool. So this is what I did. So I'm using the Firebase, what do they call that? React Firebase auth, I think it is, which is a little bit of an accessibility nightmare, but the Google sign-in works pretty well. So I'll sign in with that. Okay, so now, so it took you to the top of the page. Okay, well, that's fine. So if I sign out again now, if I sign out, you'll see why focus management is important. And nothing's happening here, and if I, well, it didn't, okay, it didn't sign me out, I don't think. Hang on. It's worth working. Ah, there it goes. Well, it did a little bit better that time. Sometimes when you click an element that disappears, the screen readers go a little crazy because they're trying to set focus to something that isn't actually on the page anymore. I think possibly because sign in took the place of sign out, it just kept the focus there. But I have seen it happen where it just sort of, it doesn't like leave the page, but it just sort of puts you in like a never land of, so you have to like tab around to try to get your focus back again. I think because I re-rendered something in that exact place, I think that's why it seems to work better now. But earlier it was actually behaving like that for me. Or it could have just been an update that they fixed the problem. I don't know. But I have seen issues where focus gets messed up when elements start appearing and disappearing. I'm using conditional rendering, obviously, to render either a sign in or sign out. But like if I go to the about here, see it takes you right to that heading of the about heading. It announces it, and now I can just arrow down. I'm right to my about text. I think it's kind of a nice feature to have, just to skip past all the navigation stuff. But let me show you another page where the lack of setting focus is actually really important, and it has to do with modal dialogues. And I've seen this happen more than a few times, and it kind of drives me nuts. I know how to deal with it because I'm a web developer, but somebody else who doesn't know how web development works is going to have a hard time. So I'm going to go, and I wrote the developer earlier with this feedback, so I don't feel bad showing showing them as a bad accessibility example on YouTube here. I'm going to this is a church giving website here that our church recently signed up to give. To accept online donations, called Tithe.ly. And I'm going to bring up their donation form here. The giving, I think this is the right one. Yeah, where do I... I don't know if they're using... Yeah, I went to... They must have. I don't know why, because I'm logged in. Let me. Okay, let me see. I'm going to pause the video here and get to the page where I actually want to show you, because I thought I had it, but apparently. So, okay, guys, I'm back. I got to the page another way. I thought I could get it through the website, but I had to get it through my church's website. So I'm at the page now. And this is actually not a horrible page. You have where you can enter your amount here. So I'm going to say $50. The only thing I don't really like about this money thing is, and I've seen this other places, and I guess it's okay. I don't know why people do it that way. To me, if I put in 50, I'm expecting $50. I'm not expecting 50 cents. So the fact that I have to put in the extra 2 zeros to bring it over there, and that's, I know that because I know it, but it's not obvious. Like I said, to me, I'm expecting, you put in 50, you get $50, not 50 cents. I know for visual people looking at it, they see the decimal point there, and they're like, but for blind people, I see it on the braille display, I see the decimal there, it's there. It's not really an accessibility issue, I just don't like it. But nonetheless, this is just a standard drop-down list, very good. That's, card bank. I'd rather have that be a set of radio buttons rather than just 2 buttons. I don't get the purpose of having it be 2 buttons. You can only pick one or the other. I don't get it, but whatever. I can sort of deal with that. Yeah, this is the first problem. Cover fees. Okay, that's not a clickable div, people. That's a checkbox, or it should be a checkbox. See, if I hit enter on this div, whatever, I'm assuming it's a div spam, whatever the heck it is. Okay, I hit enter. I have no clue what happened. I have no clue if I clicked it. And actually, I talked to a sighted person, and they were remarking the same thing. Now, if you go down to the bottom, where the button is, that you actually click to give. Okay, so that means I apparently am not covering the fee. But if I yeah, see, I can't even get to that cover fees button by going through the form field because it's not actually a form field. So if I click this again, now I think I'm covering the fees. Let me go down and check. Yeah. So there's no, you wouldn't normally think to do that. I mean, I know that because I've given here in the past, but that should be a checkbox. It's either checked or not. I don't know what they're doing there, but I don't know if they're trying to be cute or what they're doing, but that's not cool. So moving on. Okay, I don't. Again, this is kind of weird. Recurring giving. Okay, again, that should be a checkbox. And I like that they're putting this in the tab order, but screen readers have other shortcut keys that people use to move between form fields. They have F and Shift F, which a lot of people use to move through form fields because it's a little quicker. Sometimes there's links and stuff in between. We don't necessarily want to tab through all that. Or it's just naturally what we've been using. So these really should be actual form fields and not whatever the heck those are. So they got that. And then there's this button that I'm not sure what that's supposed to do. I'm guessing that's something to do with the recurring giving that's grayed out, that the button is not grayed out and in the tab order, which is kind of, again, not cool. But here's the real problem here. I'm going to click this give button, and nothing's going to happen. And I'm going to look on the form field, and I'm going to look for any errors, and I'm not seeing anything because all of my information is here. So what the heck is going on here? So I'm going to go down just like a normal user would, and I'm going to be like, maybe it just didn't work. I'm going to click it again, and then I'm going to be like the impatient user and click it again like 5 more times. And then I'm going to err around the page a little bit and try to figure out everything's the same here. What the heck is going on? Now, I'm being a little tongue-in-cheek here because I'm trying to prove a point, but if I go down to the bottom of the page, which is totally not where I would expect this to be, now I see this confirmation dialog box that pops up. And this is why I said focus management. Focus should have been set to this dialog, and we should not have been able to deal with any of the page until we add or dismiss this dialog box. I see this. I shouldn't say I see it all the time, but I see it a lot, and it kind of drives me nuts. And because I clicked this 5 times, now you see there's five of those. I don't know if you can see them visually, but obviously I'm reading them. There's like 5 of those confirmation boxes. So it's just a bad user experience because we have no clue that anything has changed. This is all client side, which is fine. We're kind of used to that now. I mean, Facebook does that, and Gmail does that, and a lot of places are doing that now. So the fact that it's all a single page app type thing, that's not a huge deal. But you gotta. I mean, if we click a button, we expect something to change, and to have it be totally down. And I understand why it's down there because it's added to the bottom of the HTML, and I'm guessing visually it must be positioned with some kind of Z-index or something above the content, so you probably can't see the rest of the page, but it's still there. It needs to have, then there are modals that take care of this. There's a Reach UI modal for, and again, I don't know if they're using React or not, but there's Reach UI for React, and I've Googled, several different modals, and they do this nicely. They set focus to whatever had focus when the modal's closed. So there's really no excuse for that. That's the worst accessibility. The other stuff is, there were some things in the initial setup. They had one, when you put in your credit card number, they had one of these forms, and I don't know why sites do this, but they had this weird thing where the credit card was split into 4 different edit fields, and so as you're typing in the credit card number, it's setting focus to the next field, which I'm not a huge fan of that either. I'm guessing visually it must look better. I don't get it. If you try to do a select all and delete the credit card, then you're only deleting what's in that input. I don't care for that either. Little things like that, but that's the worst thing. So if you're going to have a modal like that, make sure that you're either using a front-end library that sets focus to the modal, or, do it yourself so that we can tell, that something's happened there. Because otherwise we're going to be lost. So that's my spiel for tonight. I hope you guys have learned something. If you have any questions, like I said, once I get around to putting my code up on GitHub, uh, I will put a link to it. I realize it's probably not very visually well designed because I am blind and I can't see it, but I still like coding apps and things. I do more back end stuff at work. I know SQL and all that kind of stuff, so I do a little bit more database stuff at work, but I do some web stuff there too. But that's one of my goals in the future here. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do it, but I would like to learn a little bit at least about how to create somewhat of a decent design so that I can make things that look at least half decent. But anyway, thanks a lot if you watched this far. Talk to you later. Bye.